Well, hey! Hello everyone and welcome back to Beatle Dustino's Beatles channel. Lovely to have you here. Thanks for joining me for this video and I hope you're all doing well. If you're wondering why I started this video with a well hey and a little chuckle, that was my little tribute to my good friend Beatle Dustino, who is running a contest at the moment, and this is my entry into his contest, and he always starts his videos with a well hey and a little chuckle. Now the thing about his well heys is that you never know how big they're going to be. Sometimes he gives it like a really big well hey, and sometimes he gives it a much smaller well hey. I haven't really worked out what is the key to getting a big well hey or a little well hey, but I always look forward to watching his videos to see just how big his well hey is. Now, he's running a contest, as I say, at the moment, and this is my entry. His contest is called the 1 and 7 contest, which I'll explain about in a minute. Now, if you don't know Beatle Dustino, he's a really great guy, a young guy, well, certainly younger than me, well younger than me, and he's a big Beatles fan, and he lives in North Dakota in the States, and he does mostly show and tell videos where he shows you records and CDs from his collection, mostly Beatles or solo Beatles stuff, but he does do other stuff as well, like Beach Boys and stuff like that. Sorry, if you're hearing any rumbling noises at the moment, it's not my bottom. We're having a bit of a thunderstorm here at the moment, and we've got lightning and thunder and all that sort of stuff at the moment. Okay, so I'm going to put a link to his contest down in the description for anyone who wants to enter his contest. It runs until the 29th of September, and he's offering a prize of $40 Amazon gift card, which when I converted to sterling would buy me, if I was to win, would buy me about 5 CDs or 1 album, 1 record and a cheese and pickle sandwich. So I hope that I win. Now, I've been following Beatle Dustino probably since the beginning, right at the start of his channel. I believe that the first video that he ever did was a contest entry to my contest that I ran when I hit 1,000 subscribers, and I've kind of been following him ever since. I remember when he had 10, 20, 30 subscribers, and he used to say on his videos, I'm so pleased to have like tens of subscribers, let's see if we can make it 100, but he's now got 700 subscribers, and the idea of this contest was because when he launched the contest he only had just over 600, but he's already reached the 700. So if you were to subscribe to his channel now, we might be able to get him to 750 subscribers, which would be absolutely fantastic. So he has got a great channel, so do go over there and check it out. Now, his contest called the 1 and 7 is, so the first part is I have to call out between 1 and 7 of my favorite YouTube channels, and then he's got 7 questions that I have to answer about collecting and stuff like that, or record buying or whatever. So I'm gonna do that. So let's get on with it. So the first part of the contest is to give a shout out to up to 7 of my favorite channels that I watch. Now, I've subscribed to loads and loads of channels, and unfortunately I can't call everyone out who I subscribe to and whose channels I enjoy, but I'm gonna name some of them and tell you about them. So the first one I'm gonna name is Keir Smith. His channel, From Me to You. Keir is from Nottingham in the UK. Love Keir. He has got a great channel where he usually does fairly short videos. His videos not usually longer than about 10 minutes, so they're a really easy watch. They're very well presented, well scripted, and he talks about the music within those videos in a very passionate way. That's one of the reasons why I love his channel. He does a lot of Beatles stuff. He's a big Beatles fan, but he does do other music as well, and I thoroughly recommend his channel. I don't know how he's only got 300 odd subscribers. He should have a lot more than that, because it's a really great channel. So that's Keir Smith from me to you. The next one I'm going to call out is Beatle Brad. Love Beatle Brad. He is has been a fantastic supporter of me and my channel pretty much since it first started. Now, Brad's channel, Brad does show and tell videos. He shows his record collection and he shows his memorabilia collection. Now, personally, I don't collect memorabilia, but I love watching his channel to see all the stuff that he's got, and he has got an unbelievable collection, the best that I've seen from anyone on YouTube as far as memorabilia goes. Now, Brad is very sick at the moment, so I also want to use this opportunity to wish you a speedy recovery, Brad. I hope you are on the mend, and I am thinking about you. Get well soon, mate. Okay, the next one I'm going to call out is Larry Graves, the Canadian stud muffin. Now, Larry has been on YouTube, I think, since 2007. He is the most experienced YouTuber that I know, and he has given me loads of really great advice. He also been a great supporter of this channel. I've appeared on his channel a few times doing various chats and stuff like that. Really enjoy his stuff. He's a big Beatles fan. He's a big Sparks fan. He likes classic rock. He likes prog. He does videos about all that stuff. He does ranking videos. He does comedy videos. He's a very, very creative guy. He's from Trenton, Ontario in Canada. Thoroughly recommend his channel if you've never seen it. The next one is not so much a channel, it's more of a podcast, and that is the Two Legs Paul McCartney podcast with Tom Hunyadi and Andy Nichols. Fantastic podcast. They drop a video every week on a Saturday, and they cover loads and loads of topics, mostly about Paul McCartney's solo career. They have guests on, authors, that sort of thing. They sort of review old interviews and loads of stuff. Really, really great podcast from two really knowledgeable guys. I do a show with them called Stuck Inside These Four Walls, which is a live question and answer show with Andy and Tom, and also Joe Mayo as well, which leads me very nicely onto my next channel, which is the Me Mr. Mayo channel with Joe Mayo, which is, again, is a fantastic channel. And if I'm absolutely honest, that is the channel which inspired me. Joe inspired me to start my own channel, not through talking to me or anything, but just from watching his videos. I thought I'd really like to do that, and I love the way that he presents. He doesn't take any shit, and he obviously he's a massive Beatles fan with a fantastic collection, but he does other music as well. He also does a record store reality videos where he hangs out in record shops and talks to people in there. He does rant videos which are hilarious as well. So again, Me Mr. Mayo with Joe Mayo is a channel that I would thoroughly recommend if you don't know it. So the next channel I'm going to talk about is my very good friend Beatle Dave. He is from Derby, and geographically that is just a few minutes up the road from Keir in Nottingham. And one of these days I'm gonna hot foot it up the M1 motorway and go and see Beatle Dave and see if he wants to go for a pint, and maybe we could go and knock for Keir as well while we're up there and see if he wants to come out to play as well. But Dave has got a really great channel, one that I followed pretty much since it first started. He does mostly show and tell videos. He's got a massive collection and a very amiable way of presenting you know, his videos. It's impossible not to like him. He's a really great guy, and as I say, fantastic record collection. And if you watch some of his videos, you're bound to see something that you've not seen before, and you just love his very casual sort of presenting style. Okay, so that's Beatle Dave. Love Beatle Dave. Love Beatle Dave's channel. Okay, and finally I'm gonna call out my good friend Richard McCook from Northern Ireland. Again, a fantastic record collection, a really great channel. He is a Beatles fan, but his real passion is David Bowie. He loves Bowie. He loves glam rock. He loves ABBA. He does do quite a lot of Beatles stuff as well, and he does all sorts of videos, but he does a lot of ranking videos, which are always interesting to watch. Really nice guy as well. So thoroughly recommend his channel as well. That's Richard McCook. And if I can just sneak in an eighth one, I'm going to say Rachel's Ghost. Go and check out Rachel's Ghost's channel, because that's something a little bit different, doing a live stream every day, and well worth popping into. Okay, that is my list of YouTube channels. Okay, on to the 7 part of the contest, where Beatle Dustino has set 7 questions about records that you own and where they're the part that they play in your record collection. So his first question is, show the album that first got you into pop music. Now for me, we have to go back to 1974 for this. Now prior to that, when I first sort of discovered pop music in 1973, when I was 12, I flirted with singles. I'd bought singles. I'd recorded the top 20 off the radio every week, but it never really crossed my mind to buy a whole album of one particular artist. Now, as you all know, in the UK we had a show on TV called Top of the Pops. It was on a Thursday evening, and it was essential viewing for any teenager that was into pop music in the 70s, and we used to watch it as a family. My dad used to hate it. He used to say, what the hell does he think he looks like? And you can't understand a word they're singing, and things like that. And I used to like it that he didn't like it, because it made, because it was something that I loved. It made me feel all youthy and edgy, and so I liked that bit about it. Now, on this particular episode in 1974, there was an American band on it called Sparks. We'd never seen them before, but they were performing their new single, This Town Ain't Big Enough for Both of Us. And this song, it starts off very quietly with just keyboards and vocals, and then it gets to halfway through the verse, where we get to the bit where Russell Mael, he sings, and it ain't me who's gonna leave, and the whole band comes stomping in like their lives depended on it. It was loud, it was brash, it was bassy, it was thumpy, and I absolutely loved it. And my dad, for once, he was right. You really couldn't understand a word that they were singing, but Russell Mael, he was prancing around the stage like like a caged tiger. But the real sort of intrigue lay with his elder brother Ron, who was the keyboard player, who would sit at his keyboards plonking away at his keyboards. His hair was slicked back, greased back. He had one of those toothbrush moustaches, and his eyes would go from left to right, from left to right, from side to side, like that. And my dad would say, look at him, he looks like bleeding Hitler. And he did a bit, but he looked like this 1930s throwback, but he was only 29 at the time. But I'm not being funny, the next day at school, just absolutely everyone was talking about this performance from Sparks and this song, and everyone just loved it. And that persuaded me to go and buy the album that it came from, called Kimono My House, a fantastic album. This is from 1974. It had a second single on it. A second single was released from it later on, Amateur Hour, another fantastic song. In fact, every song on this album is an absolute belter. I loved it, I played it to death, and this was the album that got me into pop music. Now, you might have heard me earlier say my friend Larry Graves is a big Sparks fan, And a little known fact is on the cover is a picture of Larry and his friend Glenn Kellaway from the Basement doing one of their CD exchange videos. Not many people know that that is actually them, but the first album I ever bought, Kimono My House. Question number 2 is show the album that got you into your favourite band. I'm not going to dwell on this for too long, because if you've been watching this channel for any length of time, you'll already know the answer to this. The album that got me into the Beatles was the Blue Album, 1967 to 70. I don't need to show it for too long because you all know everything that is on it. I borrowed that and the Red Album off a friend, took them home, listened to it. I played the Blue Album first, and you know, hearing songs like Strawberry Fields Forever, Day in the Life, I'm the Walrus, you know, Hey Jude, Let It Be, While My Guitar Gently Weeps, hearing those songs for the first time literally blew me away. Well, no, actually they didn't literally blow me away. I didn't take off or anything like that, but figuratively speaking, it blew me away. And it was, you know, if I was to be honest, out of the 2 albums, it was the Blue Album that persuaded me that I needed to investigate the Beatles back catalogue even further and buy the regular albums. So the Blue Album is the one that got me into my favourite band. Okay, question 3 is show the album that got you back into collecting. Now this is a tricky one for me because I don't really consider myself to be a collector. I consider myself to be a music fan. I don't buy multiple copies of albums unless they offer me something different musically, like a remix or a remaster or extra tracks. The only concession that I make to buying something, another copy of an album, if it's not got anything musically new, is if it's on coloured vinyl. That's the only thing. So buying music has never stopped. You know, from that Sparks album that I bought in 1974 to now, you know, I've never stopped buying music. But what I did stop doing is buying vinyl. In 1987, when I got my first CD player, I stopped buying records and I started buying CDs instead. So I'm kind of manipulating this question a little bit to say the album that first got me back into buying vinyl. Now, as I say, I stopped buying vinyl in 1987 with one exception. For some reason, in 2014, I bought the Beatles in mono on vinyl, and that was a strange decision because, you know, I just wasn't buying vinyl at that time. But there was something in my head said, if you don't buy this, you're probably going to regret it. And I'm really glad that I did that, because obviously that box set is out of print now, and you know, the prices that it goes for is just ridiculous. So I'm really glad that I did buy it, but it was an odd decision at that time to buy it. But so what I'm going to say is the album that got me back into buying vinyl again, and the album that got me back into buying vinyl was McCartney 3 in 2020 during lockdown. Needed something to cheer me up, and I bought McCartney 3 when it came out. I bought it on black vinyl and I bought it on CD, and a little bit later I bought this one on coloured vinyl. Now, I didn't buy all the different variations of coloured vinyl, I only bought this one, but this competition gives me an excuse to show it because it is a thing of beauty. I bought this one, the yellow and black splattered vinyl. I think there was 3,333 of these, and apparently the black bits are made out of recycled copies of McCartney 1 and McCartney 2. Apparently, if you believe that, you'll believe anything. But that was the album that got me back into buying vinyl, so I hope that is okay for the answer to this question. Question 4 is show a box set that blew you away. Quite a few contenders for this. The aforementioned Beatles in mono box set would be one of them. Also, the Big Barn box that I've got, the Paul McCartney archive, that's got the archive edition of Wildlife and Red Rose Speedway and Wings Over Europe in it, that would be another. But for this, I've gone for this one here, John Lennon Plastic Ono Band Ultimate Mixes, an absolutely fantastic box set. That is the track listing there, the huge track listing. What do you get in this box set? Well, you get a War Is Over poster, you get a hardback book, which I'm not going to show you now, but you do get it, and you get 6 CDs, 6 of them. This is the CD wallet, 6 CDs. This is the track listing if you want to pause the video and look over it. And you know, this is, for me, this is the benchmark by which all box sets should be judged, because musically there is just so much here. So you get 6 CDs. The first CD is a remix of the album plus the singles Give Peace a Chance, Cold Turkey and Instant Karma, and those tracks are have a mix as well. Those 3 singles tracks have a mix as well on all the other discs. Disc 2 is the outtakes from the sessions of all the album tracks, one outtake for each of the tracks, including the 3 singles. CD 3 is the element mixes, where they take a couple of instruments from the mix, like say the piano and voice, or drums and voice, etc., etc. CD 4 is the raw studio mixes. So these are the takes that they actually used on the album, but before they did any overdubs on them, and again that carries on with the singles as well. You get the evolution mixes, which are just absolutely fantastic, which show the evolution of each of the songs on the album, plus the 3 singles, via sort of demos to start off with. So you kind of go from the demo to the finished version, or somewhere along that route. They're absolutely fascinating to listen to. And CD6 is like jams and studio improvisation, live songs and stuff like that. And you get demos on that disc as well, all the demos as well for all the songs on that. Absolutely fantastic musically, this box set. You also get 2 Blu-rays with it, so all the tracks that are on the CDs, plus some other stuff that isn't on the CDs, that's just on the Blu-rays. You're getting a Dolby Digital mix, and you're getting high-res audio as well. Okay, so that is my my box set that blew me away, the John Lennon Plastic Ono Band Ultimate Mixes. Now they did do the Imagine Ultimate Mixes as well, but that, brilliant as that is, it was a little bit dishevelled in its presentation. They hadn't quite got it right, but by the time they got to Plastic Ono Band, they'd got it absolutely nailed on, perfect. And let's hope we get some more in this series, namely Mind Games, this year, we hope. So question 5 is, show an album by your favourite band that is underrated or underappreciated. That's quite hard with the Beatles. Maybe there's a case for Beatles for Sale, or maybe with the Beatles or something like that. But I'm going to go for this one, the Love album. I think this is a fantastic album, and I never see people on YouTube really talking about this album. Fantastic track listing of 26 songs, apart from the Sun King backwards thing. Not sure what the point of that was. A fantastic gatefold for this album as well, and I just love this album. It's such a great sounding album. Love all the remixes on here, and I love the way that they have managed to add little bits from other songs, little bits of instrumentation or vocal into existing songs, as if they've always, and it sounds as if they've always been there. Just a really fascinating listen. I think this is a fantastic album. I will just point out that you get, with the LP version, you get this great book, which I think you get with the CD as well, but you can't really appreciate the artwork as well with the CD, the album version is just absolutely superb. I'm not going to show it all, but fantastic. So that is my answer to that question. Question 6 is, show an album that was gifted to you that introduced you to a new artist. Now, I couldn't think of any albums that had been gifted to me that introduced me to a new artist, but I'm going to go for this album, The Kick Inside by Kate Bush. Now, this is an album that was gifted to me. My sister bought me this for my 17th birthday, but I asked for it. So she didn't introduce me to Kate Bush. I already had the Wuthering Heights single, Wanted, the album, and this album is the album that started my love affair with Kate Bush. I've got everything that she's ever put out, and very lucky indeed to manage to go and see Kate Bush in 1979, just after the Lionheart album came out. She did a UK tour. She did some shows at the London Palladium, which I went to 2 of them. Absolutely fantastic shows. And then we thought she was gone, but then about a month later, she did a gig at Hammersmith Odeon with Peter Gabriel and Steve Harley, and basically it was a benefit gig because those 2 artists plus Kate Bush shared the same tour manager, and he died, so they did a tribute gig for him at the Hammersmith Odeon, and where Peter Gabriel and Steve Harley both did a set, and Kate Bush did her set as well. And I had row A at Hammersmith Odeon for that gig. Absolutely fantastic. Bang in the middle of the stage. And incidentally, Peter Gabriel, Steve Harley and Kate Bush all did did Let It Be as the encore at that gig. An absolutely fantastic gig. And we thought that was it from Kate Bush. Little did we know back in 1979 that she was so exhausted from that tour that it just put her off touring for years and years and years. It would be 35 years before she would do another live gig, and luckily I managed to get a ticket for one of the shows in 2014 that she did at Hammersmith Odeon. She did about 20 shows or something like that, and I managed to get tickets to see her in 2014 as well. So very lucky. The thing I love about Kate Bush is she's very much like David Bowie, in so much as that she never stands still. She never rested on her laurels. Something that was successful, she didn't stick with that formula. She changed it around, tried something new. Sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't, but she had a go, very much in the way like David Bowie did. Okay, the final question. Show a live album by a band that you've seen more than once. Well, I've got quite a huge selection to choose from that. If I talk about the people that I've seen the most, Paul McCartney I've seen 22 times live, sorry. Paul Weller I've seen even more than that. Even Kate Bush I've seen 4 times, but the one that I'm going to go for the answer to this question is this live album, Live and Dangerous by Thin Lizzy. Thin Lizzy were the first band I ever saw live at the Southend Kursaal in 1976 when they were promoting the Jailbreak tour. And this album came out in 1978, Live and Dangerous, which was kind of taken from their 76 and 77 tours, different songs from different venues. Absolutely fantastic live album. It's been lauded as being the greatest live album of all time. I'm not sure if it is that. I guess you would have to have heard every live album that's ever been released to make that call, but it is certainly one of the best live albums I've ever heard. And I've got a great story actually about seeing Thin Lizzy. I think might have been the 3rd or 4th time that I saw them when they promoted this album. They did a gig at Wembley Arena to promote Live and Dangerous, and didn't get tickets for it, but we decided to go up to Wembley Arena on the day of the gig, early during the day, when the box office opened, to see if they had any returns or anything like that, which they didn't. But they did have some restricted view tickets. Now I think tickets for the show, proper tickets for the show, were about a £5 or something like that, and these restricted view tickets were £1.50 each. But the girl in the box office, she said, I mean, I can sell you these tickets if you want them, but you're not going to be able to see much, because where your seats are, they're right in front of the speaker stack, where all the speakers, you know, the PA stack thing. So you're not going to see much. And we sort of ummed and ahed about it, and we thought, oh, for £1.50, it'd just be great to be there. So we went for it. And when we got into the venue in the evening, we discovered that the speaker stacks were suspended from the ceiling. So we had an absolutely perfect view of the band, right in line with the stage. So we kind of the front line of the band were in line with our seats, and we saw absolutely everything. So we saw a brilliant gig, really cheaply, and you know, a fantastic surprise that our restricted view tickets weren't that restricted at all. Okay, that's that one. So that's all the questions answered. Beatle Dustino, this one was for you. Hope you enjoyed it. Anyone who wants to have a go at Beatle Dustino's contest, there is a link down in the description to his announcement of the contest if you want to make your own video for it. Everyone else, if you don't want to make a video, please remember to subscribe to Beatle Dustino's channel. I'm sure you'll make him very happy. Okay, thanks very much for watching, everyone. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a like. That would be absolutely fantastic. And I will be back very soon with a new video. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.